Here we come to see the world under attack. Here we go hard and never fail. We don't back down. You can't stop the fire we bring. Defending the world from aliens and things. It's the Tubular. 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 We go hard. 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 Defending the world from aliens. Guardians.
Scarlett nervously paces around her studio apartment. Juxtaposed to her bed, couch, and a small kitchen table is an expensive cat tree. A large Persian cat lazily fills a hammock near the top of the tree and watches her owner move back and forth. She grabs a pillow off her couch and moves to the other side before pausing and putting it back. Looking around her small living space, she can't help being amazed at how clean her apartment is. The sparsely furnished space always seemed cluttered with clothes and leftover takeout boxes.
I really owe Ha-Nuel. He came in here and I actually think it's cleaner than when I moved in. Oh, Caddy LaBelle, what was I thinking? Why would I let Mrs. T come here? I know she's been helping me get ready for my college interview, but there's no way she's going to be okay with me living here. Oh, I just know she's going to invite me to live at their house. I'm not saying living with Jay would be terrible, but we're finally in a good place, Caddy. I'm 18 now, so we don't have to worry about CPS or anything. Plus, I'd feel like I was letting down the Yasaos. They took a chance leaving me in charge of this building, and I'd hate to leave them in a bind.
Taking a deep breath, Scarlett moves towards the door, pauses, and quickly moves the pillow back to its original position before opening the door. The black-clad teen is met by a smiling woman dressed in a jacket with matching skirt, carrying a garment bag.
Hey, Mrs. T. Did you have any trouble finding the place?
Oh no, dear. Jay gives quite the detailed driving directions, though I won't lie, I was a little worried coming over here. When Jay told me that you had your own apartment, I had a wildly different image in my head.
You were picturing a tiny shoebox with cracks in the walls and a questionable smell. Or literally a cardboard box. Well, if it wasn't for the Yasaos hiring me to be the building manager, I'd probably be in one of those.
This is one of Sam and Mark's buildings? Okay, that answers my next question. My mom's sense was all a tingle because there was no way I could think of for an 18-year-old to afford a place like this that didn't send an absolute chill down my spine. Whew, okay.
Mark and Sam? You know Ha-Nuel's parents?
Of course. I made it a point to meet them, Leo and Catherine, as well as Janet. I try to have lunch with them at least once a month. Janet is the hardest to nail down, though, with that overnight schedule, but we've had some great breakfasts. Your parents have been impossible to track down.
They're musicians. They travel a lot for gigs.
Oh, and they're okay with their just-turned 18-year-old daughter living on her own?
Mrs. T, my parents are really not like regular parents.
Oh, sweetie, you can call me Terra if you want.
Calling you by your last name feels a little weird.
But that's my first name.
Wait! Your name is Terra? Terra? Wow, you must really love Mr. T to do that to yourself.
Terra is the name I've always had.
What? Hold on, how is that even possible? Your parents decided to give you a name that is a homonym for your last name? That's bonkers. So he took your name? How progressive of you guys. Wait, so you had a chance to change it and you didn't?
Why would I? I love my name. It's unique, just like me. Plus, his last name was Firma, and I refused to do that to myself.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Well, now that I've seen your place and I'm confident you're not in squalor or in any shady business arrangements, let's get to the task at hand. Okay.
Mrs. Terra lays the garment bag on the table and starts to pull out clothes before she is stopped by Scarlett.
Mrs. T, I told you I didn't want you buying me things. I'm not a charity case.
No, this is not charity. It's a belated birthday present. What were you planning on wearing?
My regular clothes? You said just be myself. This is myself.
Mrs. Terra steps back and gives Scarlett a once-over. The black pants, combat boots, and oversized top with a Ouija board lettering show some signs of wear, but are clearly the nicest things the teen owns.
This is undoubtedly you, but this is an important interview, and they warrant a certain dress code.
There is no way I'm gonna wear a dress or business clothes to this thing. I'm not gonna pretend to be someone I'm not.
Oh, and you shouldn't. You should give them the best version of you. Why don't you just look at what's in the bag, and if you don't like it, you don't have to wear it.
Scarlett skeptically opens the garment bag and begins to pull out the clothes. The skepticism is quickly replaced with excitement as she pulls out a black striped blazer and striped pleated pants.
This is awesome! I don't see any tags. Where did you buy this?
Oh, I had it made.
What? You had it made?
Well, I went to the mall and... Is your cat okay? It doesn't look like it's breathing.
Oh, that's just Catty LaBelle playing possum. When new people come over, she plays dead. Scared the heck out of Benny the first time he was over.
Oh, as I was saying, I went to the store full of tattooed and pierced people, which was quite an experience. I looked at everything they had, but nothing felt like you. So I reached out to a costumer friend from my theater days and sent them over your measurements and described who you were to them.
How did you get my measurements?
Well, you've been over to my house more than a few times for dinner, dear. I knew your sizes after the first meatloaf night. Since we've got the clothes figured out, what song have you chosen?
A song? I thought you were joking about that.
Honey, it's a performing arts school. They're going to want to see you perform. You can sing, dance, perform a monologue. It's pretty open. What did you originally submit?
Just a cassette of me singing along to the radio? I never thought they would accept it.
Well, there you go. Just pick one of those songs and sing your heart out.
Those are just pop songs. I barely even like them.
Well, you don't have to like them to sing them. You just have to pick one that really showcases your skills.
I guess I could go with a Goo Goo Dolls song? I have a tape around here somewhere.
An irritated Erald pushes through bushes in the woods on the fringe of Dragon Cove. The Velociraptor scientist carries in one clawed hand a pulsating stone. He takes a few steps forward, only to stop when the pulse of the stone decreases.
This is ridiculous. An infernal rock of receiving. The Duke's refusal to evolve with the times will be his downfall one day. I've arrived. I refuse to partake in your customary pomposity. Just show yourself and we can conduct our transaction.
Black, oily liquid bubbles up from the ground and coalesces into the form of a tall humanoid. Once solidified, the liquid drops away, revealing the drowned Duke. The tall reptilian stands in front of the diminutive dinosaur.
Adherence to formality and decorum is what will always separate us, Erald.
As is your preponderance for the use of outmoded communications. This conversation could not have already occurred with no inconvenience to either of us.
I know of your fondness for your communicators. The Rock of Receiving is quite capable of instantaneous communication.
The drowned Duke summons a stone similar to Erald's and brings it to his mouth.
But where is the fun in that?
I despise everything about you.
Do you think it is wise to speak so ill of the one who holds the fate of your dear sister in their hand?
Just because I despise you does not mean I do not respect your abilities. What do you have for me?
The water wizard extends their long, scaly arm with their palm upwards. Closing their eyes, they pause for a brief moment before casting a spell.
By the shadows of Horkol, the malice of Sokor, and the tears of Ublikas.
A small vial appears in the drowned duke's hand and begins to fill with glowing green ichor poured from an unseen source. With an intricate gesture, the container is magically sealed.
This is the elixir of Laponicus.
Greedily, Erald snatches the glowing bottle and stares intently at the bubbling fluid.
And this shall heal my sister? This will bring her back to me?
No, it will not.
Then what is...
It will prepare her for what comes next. What you're asking me to do has never been accomplished before. Granted, a thaumaturgist as powerful as myself has never attempted it before, but it does require her body to be fully healed before her soul is forced back into her. I have fulfilled my end of our arrangement. Now it is time for payment.
I gave you the technology to grow the GeoMonsters. Is that not payment enough?
That was a gesture to show your commitment.
The potion in Erald's grasp disappears and reappears in the drowned dukes.
I require nothing at the moment, but will require that you guide the Guardians into a machination that I will soon put into place.
You would have me betray my friends.
I'm simply asking whom you value more, your found family or your actual one.
Erald stares with laser-like intensity at the Duke before dropping his gaze. Shoulders slumping, he extends his clawed hand.
Your terms are acceptable.
Your terms are acceptable?
The dinosaur's eyes raise to find the smug face of the merman staring back at him.
Your terms are acceptable. The drowned Duke, Thermatage First Class.
With the bottle in hand, the dinosaur scientist turns to start his march through the woods.
And, Erald, if you choose to betray me, I will send my fruggers to tear you limb from limb.
And then we shall finally see which of us has crafted the stronger minions.
A gob of goobles emerges from the brush and flanks their creator.
Perhaps, after all, you do possess a few redeeming qualities.
The duo of Reginald and Johnny Dakota make their way deeper and deeper into the woods outside of Dragon Cove. The high school footballer carries a shovel in one hand, a burlap in the other, and a frustrated look on his face. He trails behind the determined surfer and restaurateur, who matches steadily while dressed in a fedora and leather jacket, a coiled whip hanging on his hip.
We're almost there, Tall Round. I can feel it.
You said that the last 3 times we stopped. Look, I'm tired tired of digging holes. Are you sure you actually planted these peppers and didn't just dream it?
My young Grom, dreams turn into the reality of shredding. From our shredding comes new dreams. Who are we to decide where dreams end and reality starts?
Oh, if this was a dream, you would be Tiffany Amber Thiessen. What's so special about this pepper anyways? Can we just, ask that dork Jay to look for it on the internet?
The devil's breath ain't gonna be found at the local bodega. Store-bought peppers aren't gonna help us win the battle of the boardwalk. These peppers have been around the block, and they're gonna season our victory.
Peppers don't have... Johnny. Hey, Johnny! What's this?
Reginald breaks away from the path that Johnny was blazing and moves toward an odd gripping of trees. As he approaches, the teenager is drawn to the odd-colored fruit growing from the branches.
Hey, I'm no fruitologist, but I'm pretty sure apples aren't supposed to be blue.
Apparently, you have never been to Burning Man.
Whoa! It just changed to purple.
That is indigo, my dude. I'll add studying color theory to our to-do list. That's the second most radical thing I've seen a fruit do.
Johnny, the apple is changing colors. How are you not freaking out about this, man? It's changing again. It's...
The small fruit explodes in Reginald's hand, knocking both he and Johnny off their feet. Sliding to a stop a few feet from the tree, the duo shakingly get to their feet. Standing before them is a gray-skinned man with wild and unkempt hair and beard. Wearing tattered clothes that appear to be equal parts fabric and organic, the figure gesticulates wildly while facing the tree bearing the multicolored apples.
No, come on. I said this would happen. But he just wouldn't listen. He says to me, he says to me, you got style, baby. You got style. But you're gonna be a legend. You gotta get a gimmick. And so I go. I say, hey, baby, I got a gimmick. That's what I need. And he goes, 2 words. Explosive fruit. I told him. I did. People are gonna pick them before they're ready. I said, who's a fool now?
What the hell, man? I'm gonna pound you. Oh, I'm gonna pound you.
Johnny D quickly steps into the path Reginald is rushing and grabs hold of the enraged teenager. He puts himself between his apprentice and the mysterious rambling man.
If you take anything from this partnership, let it be this. Never stir up trouble with the dude with explosive fruit. Now, I typically don't like to interrupt an argument between a person and their favorite tree, but did you just blow up me and my wingman?
I'm not saying no. No, I'm not saying no. Fine. Maybe a little I am. Am I wrong? I can't be wrong. Am I wrong?
What's his damage? Why is he arguing with a tree?
Ours is not to reason why. Ours is but to leave before things get more explosive.
Johnny and Reginald slowly start to back away from the crazed individual. The duo only make it a few steps before the wild eyes of the gray-skinned man shift from the tree to the two of them.
Oh, no. We cannot have spoilers for the debut of Johnny ThunderTree's big show. This is a one of a kind, once in a lifetime type of moment, and we cannot have you two people ruining our show.
The crazed Johnny ThunderTree holds out both of his hands, and 2 apples fall into them. The explosive fruit quickly starts cycling through their colors as they are launched at Johnny D and Reginald.
Oh, that's it. It's pounding time. Yeah, you best get off the track when the art train is coming through.
Reginald is barely able to turn in time to see one of the massive branches of the ThunderTree swing down and knock him solidly into a nearby tree.
Oh, I would not have predicted having to shred a sentient tree when I started my day. It's not the first time I tussled a thing with chivalry. The other time was in a dream, and I was a centaur, but I'm sure the rules are the same.
The combat-savvy food truck owner stumbles away from the flailing tree, holding a baseball bat-sized branch in his hand.
One down and only 47, 48, no, 49 to go.
You thief! What's the word? Philistine, that's it. Thank you. Philistine is what you are with your filling and your steening.
You give all Johnnies a bad. Whoa!
Johnny trips backwards over a loose apple grenade and slams onto his back. The rogue piece of fruit rolls next to his head as the colors continue to change. He grimaces as he braces for the explosion, only for the gray-skinned psychopath to kick it away.
I really wouldn't want you to miss the show, but my friend, my collaborator demands a little payback.
Can you believe they're going on tour with Neutral Milk Hotel? They were just playing the fall ball not too long ago. Crazy times we live in.
Why exactly are we meeting Pan at a Mexican restaurant? We should be doing this at the Enduring Enterprise so we can fine-tune the conduit.
Okay, two things. First, Senor Wally's is not just a Mexican restaurant. It is an experience. They have live mariachi music all day and all night. On the weekends, they have celebrity impersonators performing. Lastly, they have burritos the size of your arm. Your arm!
That sounds interesting. And what's the other reason?
When was the last time you went out and had some fun? You're always in that lab of yours on the Enduring Enterprise working on this conduit. We're pretty much done now. We deserve to celebrate.
I guess reverse engineering alien technology with parts from Circuit City and scavenged from a millennia-old spaceship warrants a little celebration. Are you sure Pan is going to be okay with this place?
They recommended it. I guess they've really fallen in love with Mexican cuisine lately.
The two teens are met with brightly colored walls adorned with traditional Mexican artwork and intricate woven textiles. The lighting is dim, with flickering candles on each table and strings of fairy lights hanging from the ceiling. The aroma of fresh cilantro, spicy peppers, and roasting meats fills the air, mixed with the sweet smell of traditional Mexican desserts.
Oh, this place smells like heaven.
What did I tell you? Let's see, where is Pan? Oh my god.
What are they wearing?
The duo make their way through the restaurant and sit down at a booth along the far wall. Their indigo-skinned mentor, wears a multicolored woven poncho, and sits with a plate piled high with quesadillas.
How in the world does this place exist in Dragon Cove?
Wally's was originally a bar and grill. Mr. Waldschlager went to Mexico for a bachelor party and after a night of drunken debauchery, woke up in a Mexican jail. With no money or ID, the only way he could repay his debts was forced servitude in a local restaurant. There, he not only fell in love with Mexican culture and cuisine, but also the wife of the restaurant owner. The two fled back to Dragon Cove where they rebranded the bar and grill as Senor Wally's, the Northwest's most authentic Mexican restaurant experience.
That was oddly specific and full of way too much information. How do you know this?
It is right here, on the back of the menus.
What are you eating?
Montaña de quesadillas. It is remarkably similar to a dish C.L. Jenny used to make.
There are tortillas in space?
Not exactly tortillas, but she made this dish called glazu gorp. I do not know if that was the actual name or just something she called it, but she would fry the leaves of the Kramatixa plant with curdled milk and they were just as delectable as this. Though, we did not have salsa. Salsa is one of Earth's greatest culinary inventions.
Ziljani was your wife, wasn't she?
We did not use the terms husband or wife, but we were bonded.
Do you know what happened to her?
No, but her death, like the deaths of all my closest friends, is on my head. They followed me into this rebellion and we lost. I lost everything.
We can't even begin to fathom how you must feel, Pan. Just know that we're here for you if you ever want to talk about anything. You've been through more than probably anyone I've ever met.
The offer is appreciated, but I am not ready to talk about her. Not yet. Let us focus on the present and positive things.
A smiling waiter approaches the table carrying a tray with chips, salsa, and 2 additional glasses of water. He quickly sits them down and addresses the group.
El Morado, what will your young friends be having tonight?
My friend in green will have the fajita plate because they are creative and will build their own food. The one in pink will have... the avocado quesadilla with jalapeno carrots because he appreciates layered flavors.
Muy bueno. Excellent choices.
That was impressive. When did you learn Spanish?
Last weekend. Once I realized I liked this cuisine, I thought it only respectful to learn the language.
You mastered a new language in only a couple of days?
Part of Guardian training was linguistic work. We often went to new planets and had to quickly learn dialects to open communication.
Speaking of the old Guardians, I think we're finally ready to cut your last connection to them.
The new conduit? You two are quite simply amazing. I am not sure if Haljor would be impressed or enraged that 2 as young as yourselves reproduced his life's work.
We've done all that we can. We reverse engineered the conduit from GAIA's files and from what you were able to tell us. It theoretically should work just like our own.
And what is powering it?
That is where we run into a little bit of a hiccup. There is no earthly power source strong enough to power the conduit. So it only really leaves us with 2 options. First, we transfer your current energy from the old conduit to the new one.
Would not that just allow the Praetorian Guard to still zero in on me? I mean, I appreciate not having to use a semi-functional conduit, but the overall pressing concern would still be there.
Not exactly. Similar to when GAIA reset our conduits, we're pretty sure that moving your energy source to the new conduit should scuttle the frequency that it puts out energy that the guard wouldn't know what they were looking for anymore.
And if that does not work, what is our backup plan?
That's the sticky wicket. The only realistic option is the rogue titan.
The unalienable moment of truth.
I know we swore not to even bring it up, but it is the best option. The logs that GAIA shared with me show that its energy output is comparable to ours when we're Cronus. I know it smashed a moon thousands of years ago, but maybe it's calmed down a bit now?
No, it has not. But you are right about it being the best choice. If I truly want to atone for my time as Harbinger, I must be willing to risk everything, even my soul.
Everyone knows I love a dramatic speech, but there's no way we're letting you risk your soul when we have another option. Trust me, I know how strong the desire to help can be.
The silent tension is broken by the arrival of the waiter, who carries a tray with sizzling food. He deftly places the plates in front of Jay and Ha-Nuel.
We have the fajitas for you, and for you the avocado quesadilla with extra jalapenos and carrots. Chiles de Esquivel. There you go. Muy bueno. Good choices. Enjoy, enjoy.
The trio eat in relative silence for a few minutes, lost in the taste and smells of their delicious meals.
Alright, I have a question for you, Pan.
There is nothing that you can say that will change my course of action.
It's nothing about that. Do you have any idea what a Stormcaller is? Haxatar and the Duke have called me that. At first I thought it was an insult, but the Duke really seemed to hate me for some reason.
I am very sorry, but that phrase does not mean anything to me.
Not to rock the boat or anything, but that seems pretty unlikely. We can figure that because the Duke hates them with fire, they must have been some force Tirich Mir's army must have faced. And you, or at least you as Harbinger, were the head of that army. So now that I'm saying it out loud, there's a chance that the Duke and Haxatar could have a shared history that didn't include Harbinger.
I am certain that Harbinger knew all about the Stormcallers, but I have chosen not to delve into my sordid past. I would rather not relive a millennia of terrible choices.
I respect that. I truly do. I just wish I knew more about this. This could be a way I substantially help us in this battle, but I'm stumbling around in the dark.
If your recent showing with building this new conduit for me is any barometer of your abilities to grasp the unknown, I believe you are going to do just fine. What is that?
It's a pager that I made for Johnny D. It connects directly to our communicators. He's only supposed to use it in case of an emergency.
We need to go. Everybody, meet at the Enduring Enterprise ASAP.
Ha-Nuel throws a handful of cash onto the table as the trio quickly makes their way out of the restaurant.
Tubular Teens with Titans is written and produced by Velvet Fiend Rabbit Productions. Our theme song, Thunder Sword, is written and produced by Ahmad Judah and Joe Chasm, with lyrics and vocals by Keisha Wallace. If you liked what you just heard, please head over to the podcast service of your choice and leave us a rating and a review. It truly helps more people find the show. Tubular Teens with Titans features the vocal talents of
I'm Briar Zachary, and I play the Druidic Defender, J. Terra.
Ryan Tibbet, and I played Benny Humo, the Pyre Paladin.
I'm Tim Loika, and I play Storm Sentinel, Ha-Nuel Yasao.
I'm Keisha Wallace, and I play the Hydro Hoplite, Gwen Avalon.
Sup, I'm Allegra Rodriguez Shivers, and I play the Nova Knight, also known as Scarlett Watts.
I'm Shayne Cochran, and I voice Erald.
I'm JJ Jensen, and I play Hera.
I'm Michael Waldschlager II, and I play Vahan, Guardian Prime.
I'm Noah, and I play Johnny Dakota.
Kyle Gould as Reginald Thaddeus III.
I'm Jerry Kokich, and I play the Drowned Duke.
I'm PJ Argento, and I voice
Tirich Mir.
Hi, I'm Sara Roberts, and I play Desdemona George.